Sweet baby Jesus. That was
You're
tough.
on Facebook or YouTube?
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
Yours
This
is
is over
on
here
YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
It's the great divide today. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna be like this and just I'm gonna look in the middle, and that way I'm not.
I could
not
just
making
look
eye
that way, and you
contact.
can look this way, and we're like crisscrossing each other. And then every time I touch your leg, we switch. Then we switch back. Oh, I think we're live. Hey, folks.
I'm a wreck. Things are standing up. That was the biggest fiasco ever.
Jamie's a mess. We are not at home, and we're not at Longhorn Lester's. We're on the road. And the problem right now is that it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that sun is coming straight down, and we could not find a shade. We could not find any shade. So if you could see the setup that we have here, we are really ragtagging it right now.
It's pretty incredible. I'm not gonna lie. I had to dig through my car to find things that would go up against the windshield. So we have an Academy folder behind my phone, and behind Lester's phone.
It's an old backpack.
Yeah.
And we're also parked behind Tractor Supply. And so if a police officer drives over here and he's going to see that we have all the windows covered, I don't know what he's going to think's going on in this vehicle,
I promise
Jamie.
we are not making out behind Tractor Supply.
And then he's going to see cameras on us. That's going to be even weirder. But hey, we have, first of all, happy Mother's Day to all of you moms, and to even a lot of you dads who play the role of mom, because we know that in this day and age, it works both ways. There's a whole lot of moms who have to play dad, and there's a lot of dads who have to play mom. In particular, one guy comes to mind. One guy comes to mind today more than ever before, and it's our beloved Carl. Hashtag Hey Carl. And I see everyone just throwing up all kinds of congratulations. So I guess you guys have seen the videos. We posted to both Facebook and YouTube from I'm a Survivor. And then Jamie took her version of the video that she created and went to YouTube this morning. And we're going to play it on Facebook this afternoon around 6. So it's going to be all about Carl and Debbie. Let's not forget Debbie.
Don't forget Debbie, because it is a joint venture. And while I know that Carl's got a big job, so does Debbie. And I think that goes into the human world as well. Like, just as you talked about, there's a lot of dads that play mom. There's a lot of moms that play dads. It really does take a village, and it's not just one or the other.
So what happened is, so I see a lot of people are asking, how many? All right, so when we left the house, there were 3. When we left the house, there were 3 very healthy-looking babies.
With 4 more eggs still pending.
Still pending is good, because I don't know how it normally works with chickens and guineas and ducks, but this has been a one at a time kind of a thing. One was completely out, and then number 2 was completely out before number 3. They begin to work on number 3. And when I say they begin to work on it, how intelligent that they decide when it's time, and they are the ones that actually begin to bust open the egg. And so it's been the neatest experience. And so we have tons of video. We have one video that Jamie recorded that actually has the whole
Don't tell him.
shebang.
Don't
whole
tell him.
shebang. So if you've never seen something as beautiful as that, the whole shebang is coming. Tomorrow. Okay, so that's a really good one, you guys. We're going to have a lot of Carl stuff. So unfortunately, that means we're going to put some stuff that was scheduled kind of back a few days.
You might see some backwards stuff later on this week.
I always hate that when I say, hey guys, today's April the 1st, and it's really April the 15th of the day that you see it. And so ultimately know that sometimes we say names, we say the dates, we say the day of the week, and when you guys see it, it might be off a little bit. And so you're going to see some things that are going to be off, because it's going to be a lot about Carl and these babies. I'm going to tell you right now, we have more questions than we have answers for. But here's the scary thing. I would like to say we would like to ask for help, but we have already learned you have to be very careful who you ask for help, because I kid you not, when I say 99% of the people who we asked for help said that those eggs will never hatch. They did it. They did. And don't make me call out particular names on here, but a lot of the experts, people that zoos and people that raise ostriches, They say they'll never hatch, not in Texas. There are certain parts of the world with certain humidity levels, but Texas, it'll never happen. It'll never happen.
But it did.
But it did. And it's beautiful. And Carl and Debbie did a miraculous thing. And so this might be unprecedented, what's happening right now. But we came to Tractor Supply. We went ahead and did what some of y'all suggested, and we bought some chicken wire.
That in the back seat, but that's a massive roll of chicken wire.
Guys, that's a 1 acre pasture, and we're going to go home in the heat and go ahead and put chicken wire around it, because what's happening is these babies are so active. Even at a day old, they're so active that they are walking right under the fence. And we do not want to have something bad happen. We already know it's going to be a slim chance to raise them to maturity. I think it's only 20% chance of those that hatch ever make it past the first couple of weeks.
But keep in mind, and that's coming from folks who incubate them, and it's also coming from a metric of in the wild. So in the wild, it's even less. It's like only 10% of eggs will hatch, and then only 15% of those will mature. So like, this is very critical time, basically. So we are going to do all that we know how to do.
The scariest thing to me is to read that they may not actually eat on their own for several days, because they have so much that they had ingested from the yolk, I guess, from the egg, that they're fine for a while. But I'm sitting there saying, they haven't eaten, Jamie, they haven't eaten, they're not drinking anything, yet they're all jumping around and they're chirping, and they seem to be very, very happy. And so we are going to dialogue and vlog every bit of this journey. We're going to just you'll get it all, but we have to do it. We have to space it out. Yeah. So no, there's a lot going on today and this morning. And the reason I'm doing this is because we got 2 cameras on both sides of the car for both platforms. But it's going to be some really exciting times, and we will do all that we can, guys, to make sure that they survive. But so far, their 3 babies have hatched, and they seem to be doing very well. Both Carl and Debbie are taking equal time at, spending time on top of the other eggs. And
it's been an amazing morning. So some things happened this morning that blew our minds, and the timing of us being there was miraculous. And I can't wait to bring you that video. Lester got to hold a baby ostrich this morning.
It came right to me. I did not go into pasture.
No.
That little sucker come right to me. And so we are just so excited. I did what I promised. I reached out to my friends on social media, the guys that I like to follow. I talked to Rick. He's nervous, but he wants an ostrich. Rick wants an ostrich. And he's already asking for information. What do I need to do? I'm like, no. I ain't going to tell you anything, sucker. You're going to go and figure it out on your own the way we had to. No. And so he's like, F you, man, I need help. He's panicked. But Rick is excited about getting an ostrich. Cog Hill, they are excited about their ostrich. And should I go ahead and remove? I already know so much of what's going on. And Cog Hill is excited about their baby. And we will make that happen. Daniel at Arms Family, oh, I don't know. He hauled around. I don't know. Yeah, he hauled.
He's still getting into the feathered world. I mean, he's handling a goose. And I think that they hatched some ducks. And then something else that they did. Peafowl. They just also
Peafowl, yeah. And I says, well, hey, if you don't want it, then you know what? I'm going to offer it to DJ. And you watch what's going to happen. So we don't know if they're males or females, and we'll never know that. Now, you can do some scientific stuff. You can take some of their feathers, or you can take some of the egg they came out of and send it off, and they can send you back some DNA stuff, and they can send you back if it's male or female. But at this point, we're just going to just hold off on that and just try to get them a week or 2 old until we can know they're going to eat, they're going to drink. And so anybody who knows about feathered babies, this is a very critical time.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot going on right now. So we're going to do our best to protect them from predators. And Carl's not going to let anything bad happen in that pasture. But our scare is that the babies are walking out of the pasture on their own. And we do know that we have to stop that, because we don't want them walking out and something bad happening. So we're going to go home now. We're going to put up that chicken wire around the pasture, and we're going to see what happens. We're just going to keep our fingers crossed.
Who knows? Maybe another one will be hatched. What I was telling Lester, though, is he was like, why are they a day apart? Well, they were hatched, or they were laid a day apart. She doesn't lay more than one egg, and it's not a communal nest because the other two ladies were not laying at the time. So they're only hers, and they were laid. They weren't all laid on the same day. So as one hatches, another one develops the next day, another one develops the next day, which is kind of neat in their world as well, because taking care of those as each one hatches allows for the other parent to take care of the ones that are already up and moving, and
they're moving.
Yes.
They're up and moving.
But then still one to remain on the eggs and watch as the others hatch, which is very unique to ratites, which is ostrich, emu, kiwi, and what am I forgetting?
Rhea?
Rhea.
I have no idea.
Those. So very unique to them, because there are, outside of that family, in the feathered world, males do not participate like this. So
yeah,
it's very special.
So a lot of people are talking, and it's kind of laughing about given those. I think that what Daniel is afraid of is it being a male. We send over an ostrich, it ends up being a male, and then you lose access to your pastures. If you don't already have a cross-fenced pasture where you can put a male, then you kind of lose access to your pasture, because that's what happened to us with our goats. You know, we kind of lost access to that pasture while Carl was on his little rant that he went on. And so I understand that bringing a new animal in, if you don't already have the cross fencing, could require a lot. Now, Rick, with his horses, I says, Rick, that ostrich, male or female, can run right with them horses, and it'll be fine. You may have to separate them during feed time. And so Rick is excited, and it makes me excited to see how excited he is. I know Jason over there with Brooke and Mary Carl are just beside themselves. They already gave theirs a name. And I don't know if I think I should save that for Cog Hill. I will save that for Cog Hill.
Oh, I've been naming ours and calling them all kinds
We
of
have
names.
all kinds of nicknames already, because we look at them and we just find personalities. And I think a lot of y'all know Jamie's calling one of them Pat, because Pat could be Patrick, Pat could be Patricia, Pat. And so you don't really know male or female.
But the funniest thing is, if it turns out to be a female, we can call it Pea-Pat. After
Pea-Pat.
your mean grandma.
My old grouchy grandmother is Pea-Pat. I hope my mom's not watching this. That's her mother. And Pea-Pat was only grouchy to me, guys. It was only me she was grouchy to. And that's happened sometimes.
Yeah, well.
But there will be a lot of name suggestions. And listen, do not get rid of those. But it's always been our tradition to let my older son, L.E., on his channel start offering name suggestions. And then they'll narrow them down. As a group, we'll kind of narrow them down to our favorite. Right now, there's our favorite 3, but there could be more when we get home.
Yeah,
4, 5,
we don't
6,
know.
7. And then we'll name them. Now, then the next question, how in the world are we going to remember who's who? Because they all look the same.
Yeah.
Right now, the firstborn is very, very active. He or she is up and about, y'all. And then the second-born, which was born sometime last night, is semi-active. And then there was one born this morning as we sit there and watch. And it was beautiful.
You just ruined it.
There's no ruining in that. They know there's 3 ostriches.
I know, but you told the surprise.
That was a surprise?
So
the third one, even though it's not as active yet, it will be, because it, so as they begin to acclimate to, the temperatures and their conditions and all of that. But I love the way last night how Carl and Debbie actually took number 1 out for a walk. And not only did they walk towards us, they actually introduced the baby to us. And if you've not seen Jamie's video yet, I'm going to play it. It's played on YouTube this morning, and I'll play it on Facebook this afternoon at 6. And that ostrich comes right to her. And the moms are just watching, and it's the neatest thing.
It's powerful.
So it is powerful. So we have a lot of work to do. Do you have more you want to say?
No, honestly, I'm with you. We have a lot to accomplish, and being gone is just giving me a little bit of
Yeah, we want to be home.
anxiety.
We need to be there to watch, and this is a really critical couple of days. And so we have at least a couple of hours of work to do today, putting all this fencing up. And so we're going to go ahead and just cut the live very, very short. But happy Mother's Day to you all. And I promise you, there's going to be a lot of ostrich content. You're going to be sick of us. The same way you were when we first got Carl. I can already hear your collective voices. You ready for this?
No, they're not. You know why?
I'm sick. Huh? What?
They're not, because they're just as intrigued as we are.
I hope that you'll keep the intrigue. Yeah, I hope that you'll keep the intrigue. There's a lot of energy here in this vehicle. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, but I'm just really excited because we never, ever thought this would happen.
No.
And we never thought it would happen. And for so many folks to say it was not going to happen, and don't get me wrong, there were days when I thought I should just go out there and take my rake and pull those eggs out and go ahead and end this misery for Carl and Debbie by just waiting and waiting. And I'm so glad I didn't. It was Jamie that had the idea to go try to candle the eggs. And that candling made all the difference in the world. It made all the difference in the world, because for as many folks who were saying, you can't candle an ostrich egg, yes, you can. Surprise, you can. We've learned some stuff that no one thought you could do.
Do you ever think about like a tagline of we're turning cans into cans? Because I feel like we've done that a lot lately.
Turning cans into cans.
Yeah.
I never heard that. But I know we are Americans and not Americans. Yeah, I've heard that one.
Oh.
So anyway, we are just beside ourselves on some things, some miracles that have happened right here in Plum Grove, Texas. So Pat from Plum Grove is probably going to stick, because we have Wanda from Waco, we have Debbie from Dallas, and we have Tina from Texarkana. So I'm guessing that Pat from Plum Grove might just stick with that first one.
It's just
and she might be ours.
fitting.
Yeah, she might just stay with us, and we will decide what's going to happen with the other two for sure, which I know two folks who want them. And so y'all keep your fingers crossed and keep those babies in your prayers, because even though there was a lot of energy, we know we have a tough 2 weeks on our hands.
It's true.
We have a very tough 2 weeks that we're going to have to be very vigilant and stay on top of them. And it's hard when you don't have a reliable source to go to. And that's what I have discovered about ostriches. Whereas goats, you have 1,000 different sources. On ostriches, no matter how many links and videos you send us to look at, there's not a whole lot on the forums. And then you have to remember that every expert out there may just be a Google guru who can Google stuff. But those who put on Google, anybody can post to Google. And like you said this morning, the different climates, the different vegetation, there's so much that determines what the needs are.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables. And then many people who are posting are people who do this in incubators and don't have the parents right there that did this. So there's a lot of difference in what's going on than what you can find online. So Lester and I are taking it all in, but we're watching it in person to gauge based on what we know and seeing what happens. So our first priority is safety, and that's where we're headed literally right now, is to put up some chicken wire and just really create a boundary for them to not be able to walk out of the pasture.
Yeah, we will say this, there are so many variables. I'm just going to say there are so many variables. And I know that by taking the babies off of mom and dad can help with the protection from predators. It can also give them a regular heat and all of that. But there's so much that these babies learn from mom and dad in these first 2 weeks. A lot of their life skills are learned right now. They're learning them right now. While when we left, the babies are out following dad around, and he's nurturing them and naturing them. He's doing so much right now. They're learning how to graze. They're learning how to forage. They're learning how to, well, you saw yesterday in my video when the car drove by, that little one ducked. He ducked and he hid in the grass. And so already there's some instinctive things that they've learned, but Carl is teaching him a lot of the other stuff. So we're going to go ahead and stop these. If you got something else you want to say, go ahead.
Just a final happy Mother's Day to y'all. Thanks so much for loving us and for being a part of us. Many more videos this afternoon and tomorrow, and of course the rest
I'm so sorry. I'm going to apologize ahead of time, but everything else is going to be pushed back. So there'll be no Longhorn Lesters. There'll be no...
no more fence building for a while?
No, I'm going to take fence building as... Fence building who? No. I'm going to give fence building a break, and y'all just get ready for Carl and Ostrich babies, because we are just beside ourselves. This might be seriously, the greatest thing, there's been a lot of great things that have happened at I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. But this over here is, to me, I equate it with just like a miracle. Just it is as big as anything has ever happened. And you know, don't forget that 2 weeks ago we were sitting here. You and I both were just emotionally worried. I mean, we were just worried that Carl might not make it. He was just a withering old man by just devoting all of his time and energy to these babies. And look what he's done. Look what Carl has done. So I give credit to Deb because she laid some beautiful eggs and she done her part. But Carl is the one that has just given his own blood, sweat, and tears. And Carl is so happy. So there's no way I can pull these babies off from him. I understand the folks that say, take them away, put them in a brooder, you know, do it, you know, you can control more than they can out in the pasture. But Carl and Debbie they've just worked too hard, and they deserve this moment. And so
in true Texan fashion, we've said bye 3 times already.
We said what?
We've said bye 3 times already. In
that
very
means you're a real
Texan.
Yeah, you're a real Southern, not just Texan, but you're a real Southerner when you can say bye 10 times and still keep talking.
All right, well, take me home because I'm putting up some. I'm gonna make a fence video. This is a great day.
Oh, so now you're doing a fence building video. Thank God. Can I just sit in the house and play with the ostriches?
Yes, sir.
All right, bye guys.
Y'all.
We love y'all. Have a happy Mother's Day,
Happy
ladies.
Mother's Day.